It is me. It's me. It is Mike Lepre, King Mike L here for Legit Fantasy Sport. This is Legit Fantasy Wrestling. It is January 19th, the day before inauguration, 2021. We're going to talk some wrestling. With me, as always, M1, the mighty Mastradamus. Matt, how are you tonight? How's things, Matt?
Good, yourself, King?
I'm doing good. I got another one of those too many lights shine at my face type thing. I feel like the people that work here, I gotta fire them. And I would fire them, except that it's me. It's only me. We fire my own dumbass. The name is Dumas. All right, so back in the picture.
Master Dumas.
Back to the picture.
It's Master Dumas to you.
Yeah, that was my favorite. The name is Dumas.
The name is Dumas.
That was always one of my favorites.
I love it.
So we're gonna go over. First of all, we're gonna go over tag team wrestling tonight, which is like one of my favorite. I think that's one of my. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. You know what happens when people start to realize they can get a hold of you, Matt? They do get a hold of you, and then they get a hold of you too much, and you can't keep up with them. You ever have that happen? Because I have.
No, but have you ever reached out to somebody and they just don't reach back to you?
No.
And then you're like, hey, you reached out to me, and then days go on, and I'm like, why are you neglecting me?
Yeah, you did that to me the other day. That was funny shit. It made me laugh.
Why are you
neglecting me? So, dude, so the channel, right? What did you think of the Doodly commercial? My first attempt at
a
commercial.
I liked it a lot.
Funny, right?
Yep, absolutely. I think it's sharp. What are you doing on my phone? I'm making you money.
Yeah, that's what it is. So I'm gonna work on more of that. And then we got basketball going. Football is going to go throughout the whole offseason because, man, there's more to talk about now than there was like 2 weeks ago, if you really think about it. Like, football is always in season. The only sports we're not going to be able to cover is hockey, soccer, and baseball right now. We're going to have to find people to fill in those holes. But speaking of pro wrestling, let's talk about my favorite part of pro wrestling. I love tag team wrestling. I love old school tag team wrestling. I like when like a team wears the same sort of colored trunks. You know what I mean? They're dressed together. They do moves that are like a double move. Like they work together like a real tag team. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you can tell the difference.
Oh yeah.
So these are this is 50 of them ranked that I read off a site that I won't name. I don't have photos for everybody. I have photos for some of them. So we'll go through it like that. But so number 50, just so you know this, number 50 would be the Bushwhackers.
No way.
Yeah, number 50.
No way.
You think about it, the Bushwhackers were pretty horrible. I mean, they couldn't really move.
They were horrible, but they still got to be up. I mean, I'm sure there's 49. I mean, we're gonna go through the list. I suppose, but gosh, is there really 49 worse?
Better?
Better?
Yeah,
better?
I mean, look. All right, look. What did they do as a move? I know they walked like this, and I know they licked each other's heads. But what do you remember them doing?
But guess what?
What do you remember them doing though?
Their gimmick. The gimmick in wrestling is half the battle.
All right, but what did they do in the ring? I can't remember a single move.
They would go, like the Irish with the legs up against the, very, very seldom would they you'd see that like the.
I don't know. So all right, number 49. Now see, I don't have photos for everybody, so this is going to be difficult for me.
They would headbutt.
Yeah, I believe it. Do we have a picture of them? We don't. So number 29. Oh, here they are. So number 49 is the Soul Patrol. That's Rocky Johnson, Rocky, the Rock's dad.
Rock's
and
father,
then
yeah.
What's his name? Mr. Universe. Oh God, what is his name? Tony Atlas.
No shit.
Yeah, so they were Soul Patrol. So that team, that's a better team right there. So Uh, it's going to be tough going through these though because I got them all in all different places. Number. All right, this is the next one. The one they had next was this team right here. You might not. So this might be the team you think is worse. Paul London and Brian Kendrick. So Paul London is the guy with dark hair. Brian Kendrick's the one with blonde hair up front. So they were tag team champs for like a ridiculous long ass time. And what was great about those two wrestlers is they tried to portray them as like good looking, like young guys. And those guys fought against it so much that they fired the guy with the dark hair because there was a scene, I don't know if you remember, where it was right before 9/11. They filmed Vince walking like sheepishly to his limo, and then the limo explodes, and that's how they ended Raw. Like that Vince blew up. He might be dead, and they fired this dude because as Vince was walking through the crowd of wrestlers, they were all supposed to stand there and be stoic, and he was going, and they fired him for that very reason, for smiling during Vince's segment. Not kidding. And then the little blonde dude, he became. Like, he had a great-ass gimmick I told you about before. He became the Brian Kendrick. Like, he wasn't just Brian Kendrick anymore. He was the Brian Kendrick. That's how they introduced him. And he had, like, a coat that he would... You know, they don't put your sleeves in it. They just put the coat on the shoulders. And they gave him... I forget what bodyguard they gave him, but they both went their own ways. But they were great wrestlers, too. I don't know if you would know those two.
No, I was going to say I don't know those two, but the funny thing is I don't think I'd see the Bushwhackers getting such an awesome photo like that in the air. So, yeah, I could see them being better than the Bushwhackers too.
Yeah, right? The Bushwhackers. Right, so wait, what's up next? I got to see if I can find them. Natural disaster. No. All right, so I do not have them. It is the Twin Towers. That's Akeem, the Dream, and who's the policeman?
Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man. Those two are the Twin Towers. They were definitely a better team. Let's see. Head Shrinkers.
Yep.
Now, here's what's crazy. The guy on that's one of the Wild Samoans. I don't know if that's Afa or Sika. I really don't know, and I apologize for that. But the guy on the right,
Rashika.
The guy on the right becomes Rikishi, the dude with the blonde hair and the big ass.
Yeah, Rikishi.
Right? And the dude on the left, that's either Roman Reigns' older brother, or that's his like uncle. But he's on that side of the family. So they're all related somehow. But that's Rikishi. He's the father of what's the tag team right now? The Usos. And then I believe that's the oldest brother of Roman Reigns on the left. But don't hold me to that. After the Head Shrinkers, here's a team that I don't know if I got a photo of, but it was a team that the minute I heard the name, this reminds me of when I was really, really super young. Like, this is like one of the first memories I have of a team. I can't find it. Remember the Moondogs? Moondog Rex and Moondog Spot? Blonde-haired guys with big blonde beards. They come out with these big bones. They chew on the bones and whatnot. Jean-type pants.
Yeah.
The Moondogs. I can't find the photo of them. But they were like the Bushwhackers before the Bushwhackers were the Bushwhackers. Like, they had like big hair, beards. They chew on the raw bone. They had the leashes sometimes. The Moondogs. Sick as shit. Let's see. Now I'm trying to find the next one, which would be number 44, and it's Booker T and Goldust. Now, I
don't remember them even teaming up.
Yeah, that's the thing. At first, you might not remember them teaming up, but the thing was, they were really good together because.
Is that WCW?
No, WWE. Right here. Here's the thing: they played up the gay angle ridiculously. In other words, like Goldust was constantly being that over the top. Is he gay? Is he not? With Booker T, and Booker T was always like, "Tell me you did not just say that." You know what I mean? Like, so they had that thing between the two of them. So that's what made the tag team funny, I guess. Like, you could never do that tag team nowadays. They'd be out of the place. Everybody would be. How many feelings would be hurt?
Oh my!
Next up would be the Killer Bees.
Oh yeah, shit.
Jim Brunzell on the right and B. Brian Flair on the left. The Killer Bees. The best part about the Killer Bees. The best part of the Killer Bees was.
That's right around the time I got into wrestling, man.
What was the best part though about the Killer Bees, Matt? Like, what was their gimmick? What was so great about them?
Maybe that they just never did. Did they ever make it? Were they just always that team that never did it, never got it, never? They were always the underdog, never quite.
No, they constantly fooled the ref. They were constantly using the gimmick that they would wear the same mask and no one could tell the difference. Even though
that's right. That's right.
They did that every match. Oh, who's that? No, that's not Jim. I think that's Brian Blair. Oh, I thought he was hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they do it every match.
Yes.
Who is that? Yeah, they're good. The next would be, oh boy, this would be a good one if I could find it. It's the Powers of Pain.
Oh wow!
These two dudes, right? All right, it's the Barbarian and God help me, the Barbarian and the other guy in the back is that's another member of the Samoan family. That's the Warlord. The Warlord and the Barbarian. Oh. These dudes were like the second level, like demolition or the Road Warriors. But they were monsters. These two guys were like gigantic. And the guy on the other side, he's one of those, the Warlord, he's one of those people that they have like tons of wrestling stories about how like he demolished somebody like on the road. Like, cause like, what's his face? The guy they all talk about. He was, he was King. What the heck is his name? You know the large Samoan guy that I'm talking about. He tag team with Andre. Like, they're on this list. They were the
I know who you're talking about.
Oh God, how can I forget his name? They have more stories about him than anybody that there ever was. Like about how
about the big African big belly guy.
Yeah, he went to WCW. He was called.
But he had the face paint too. White face paint.
At the very end, he did.
Damn it! I know who you're talking about.
I'm so dumb that I can't remember that. I hate Googling stuff. I really do hate Googling stuff. It's God help me, Lord help me. It's no, not Arn Anderson. No, not Vader. No, Holly Race was tough too. No, yep, Kurt Angle was really tough too. Barrett was really tough. Perry Saturn, I guess. Sabu, yeah. Lesnar, number one. Haku, there it is. He's number one on the top. I just looked up top toughest wrestlers. He was on a list. Number one. Haku was a beast in real life.
I remember Haku, but I would have never guessed Haku.
Oh, he's a beast. All right, so after the Powers of Pain was Jericho. That's the name of the tag team. Jericho and Big Show. Jericho.
I never remember them teaming up.
Really?
Did they ever hold the titles?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these are all tag team. Yeah, just about every one of these teams. I think everyone has held the belts. Then there's let me see if I can find them in position.
Wait a minute. The Bushwhackers? I don't think the Bushwhackers ever held the titles.
Yeah. Maybe they put it on them. I don't know. We have to look it up. The greatest tag team ever. Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. So these guys were like collegiate wrestlers that came in, and then Kurt Angle branded them under him and made them like his bodyguards or whatever, his crew. And the name of their team was the greatest tag team ever. And they immediately won the belts, and like Angle taught them, and they were like pro wrestlers. They did a lot of great moves. Like these two guys can really go. Like when the bell rings, they're not the most appealing guys. Like they don't have the personalities, but they could wrestle their asses off. Those were wrestlers. The next team is Jesus Christ. I didn't even like this team. The only reason I liked this team was because of the manager at the time, and that's just because I was a little kid. That's the Body Donnas. Sonny was the manager in the middle. Now, that's the dude that ended up teaching wrestling. And the guy on the right, if you ever read about this, the guy on the right, Chris, I'm forgetting his name already. They messed with him. Shawn Michaels fucked with him. Like, he cheated with Sonny all the time behind this guy's back, constantly on the road. Like, she was sleeping with Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and this guy was like her fiance or whatever. Such a situation this one was. Like, she messed him up big time. Where's 38? Oh, this was my favorite. See, now I'm a little older than you, so this might be before your time, but it's the U.S. Express. That was Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda. They were like the Hulk Hogan tag team. Like they were like the old school. They beat the Iron Sheik like it was two like young guys. I don't think you
I remember the name, but I definitely don't remember watching them. Absolutely not.
Mike Rotunda turned out to be IRS. You know IRS.
Yeah.
That's who Mike Rotunda was. That's also the dad of the Fiend and Bo Dallas. And then Barry Windham, he went on to be like a bad guy. He ended up being in the Four Horsemen at one point. He was a blackjack. Dude, I watched way too much wrestling. Right, number 37, see, is a girls' tag team that I just refused. Like, it's such a joke. It was Late Cool. They split a belt. Like, here they are. I feel like, no offense, I don't mean to come off sexist, but I feel like sometimes they squeeze like women into like lists like this, like for like a quota. Like, come on, those girls don't belong right there. Yeah. They don't belong right there. Come on, we're in the middle of like
some badass already, some badass champions and tag teams. Yeah.
So wait, next up is definitely a team that I think we would agree upon. If I can find the Steiner brothers. Now, the Steiner brothers started off as just purely, wrestlers because they were both out of the state of they wrestled for Michigan State. But the younger brother, the one that ended up becoming a Big Papa Pump, he went nuts. Like he got, I don't have a picture of him. He got gigantic. Do you remember how big he got?
Unbelievably big, like stupid big. He's dead by steroids by now, right? He's got to be dead.
I don't know.
I haven't heard his name. His bell be wrong.
It's all
you want to hear a funny story? And I can't believe that I'm even saying this, but this is a great time, and it ties right into wrestling.
Yeah,
we're at one of the Gathering of the Juggalos, and my brother. I say some stupid shit. My brother, we all say some stupid shit. 1, 2, 3 kid comes walking up on us. My brother looked at X-Pac. My brother goes, "Oh man, I can't believe you're still alive and kicking." I said, "What the hell? Why would you say that?" Oh, man, I can't believe you're not dead,
dude. It's true though. Like, yeah.
You should have seen his face. It's like,
thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, you know what Twins Pizza is on Middle down near Charles Street?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I go in there with my son, me and Junior. Actually, my wife came and my daughter, and in walks because he lives right around here now, and I didn't know the part of the Dudleys, Spike Dudley, the little blonde guy, the smallest guy. He lives right around our area.
Oh shit, Spike!
Got a photo of him with my son. He posed in Twins with my son. And then he works. I end up knowing where he works. He works like Bank of America down in Warwick. But he's like was a teacher. He's a high school, elementary school teacher, and then became a wrestler. And then didn't want to go back to teaching, so he's into sales. But he's tiny. Holy shit, is he small? Is he? I mean, he's like really small. Like
when we used to do a radio show in Kennedy Plaza, we ended up hooking up with Tiny the Terrible.
Which one's that?
He was the midget wrestler.
Oh, I know he is.
He is a lot. He's a lot to handle. He's a good man. He's definitely an alcoholic, but he's a crazy circus to bring around. He's a handful. He's awesome.
It takes a special kind of person. So we're at 35 is the legacy. The legacy would be Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. That's obviously that's perfect tag team. I love the name too because they are the legacy, of those teams.
Remind me to send you a video of Tiny the Terrible talking to Judge Caprio.
All right, I will. Jesus Christ, yeah, definitely. The next is the Foreign Legion, which
I don't remember them.
No, that's what they called.
Okay.
The Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, which is a horrible name for them, but I guess they are both foreign, and they should be way up this list.
I'll tell you what, they should because they're both badass.
but they're not. But they should be way up this list. They were great. That's a heavyweight champion on the right. I mean, that was a great team. I really thought they were a great tag team, that team. All right, next page. 33 was X-Pac and Kane. I mean, they were
alive.
Yeah, I can't believe he's still alive. He was champ. They were champs for a while. I don't think they were great. They were that great, but whatever. Here's Eminem. That's Mercury and Johnny Nitro, who's now I forget what he became. But that guy on the left, remember I showed you the video where the guy gets smacked in the face and his whole face explodes from the ladder? That's him. That's him.
No shit.
That was the team.
All right.
Eminem. They were champs for a while, and they did a lot of great matches, but he got his face busted completely open. The next was is Too Cool.
Okay. I remember Too Cool.
So the dude on the left that does the worm, I always forget his name. I always do.
Scotty Duarte.
Scotty Duarte. And the dude on the right is Jerry the King Lawler's son.
No shit! You can see it in his face.
Yeah, he later came out in an episode and was yelling at him about being his dad and being I don't know, he didn't help him or whatnot. It was a weird angle they tried to pitch later on, but yeah, that's Jerry King Lawler's son. Too much drugs.
He looks like a young Jerry. Holy shit!
Yeah, they were good. I mean,
with the glasses on, you can still see it.
The next one is this is a classic one. It's weird that they put this one in the list, but I guess you got to count them. I don't know if there's a picture of them. The Mega Powers. It's Hogan and Macho.
I would have them way up this list. They're
but they're not a tag team. But they're not. But they're too great. They're just two great wrestlers wrestling together. They're not like.
Well, they had to make the tag team happen in order to have the event happen.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I'm okay with them being over here on this list because,
where is the number?
They're at 30. There's better teams that have been wrestling together forever than these guys. Although they're two of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Well, that's what we should have said. What do we gauge in this list on? Because honestly,
it's the best tag teams. Yeah, it's the best tag teams.
I guarantee, right? You put this number 30 against half of the next, and rightfully so. If we were gauging the two of them against the other two wrestlers, 9 times out of 10, you're going to talk about Hogan and Savage coming out on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, in the end, it always used to be like a better tag team would win.
Yeah.
They know the rules. They know everything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, the next team is the Brainbusters.
Right. Yeah.
4 Horsemen from WCW. Right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So, I mean, them right there, they work together forever. How they not? After them, you have what?
Way longer than in unison and being together should have cohesion and understanding. Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. Yep. And right there, talking about two of the top 4 of all time right there.
Yeah, they're big bastards. The next one is this one. So this one is this one you can argue because they wrestled together for a little bit, but they're obviously not a great tag team because Andre's part of it. It's Andre and the man we just spoke about that I'm forgetting his name. Haku. Legitimately 2 of the toughest people that ever lived right there.
Ever.
Right?
Ever.
So it's like, I wouldn't tell them that they belonged lower on the list. You know what I mean? Next was let's see, this is like a quintessential tag team, the Quebecers.
I tell you what, they were a good bad.
That's a good heel tag team, right?
Yeah.
Bad guys that came in.
Yeah, they sucked. I hated them, man.
Who hates Canada, right?
Who
gives a shit about Canada? It's funny that they picked Canada. The other one is let me see if I can find it. Here we go.
They had the thing that would zap people.
Oh yeah, the tasers. Rated RKO. This is again something you could argue about with your Hogan Macho Man thing because this is Edge and Randy Orton. They were tag champs for a long time, but they're better known as being single guys, right? It was Rated RKO. I actually thought they were really, really good together. Next, Los Guerreros at 25. Yeah. Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero. Right there, that's a great tag team. Great tag team, right? Eddie was great. Yeah, Where is next? Oh, boy. Here we go. The Smoking Guns.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Bart
They're quick
Gunn, who
to
got
back.
knocked out. Bart Gunn, who got knocked out by Butterbean. And you know who the ref was? Do you remember who the referee was during that fight?
Tyson?
Vinny Pazienza.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That Paz refed it. That's Bart Gunn and then Billy, badass Billy Gunn. I love that. That was a great tag team.
No way.
This next one should be another one. Here we go. Typhoon and what's his name? Tugboat.
Natural disasters, baby. Typhoon and
the natural disaster.
Yep, earthquake and natural disasters, baby.
You like those? I know. I remember you talking about them before. That's a tag team, right?
Hell yeah,
guys. Oh, all right.
There's a perfect pair too. Perfect for each other.
Perfect. So this is Morrison and the Miz. Remember the guy I was just talking about that was partners with the guy who got his face busted open with the ladder?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, the other guy who didn't is on the right. That became John Morrison. And the Miz is the dude that started off on MTV, then became a pro wrestler, and then he's on TV shows. Morrison and the Miz. They're really good together. Currently, I think they're either tag team champs or they're going for that again. So they've been champs like over 7 or 8 times. The next one is the Nasty Boys. Now, see, the Nasty Boys to me was strictly a WCW type tag team, right? Because they didn't do much in the WWE, I didn't think. But
they had a stint, but they didn't have well, they might have been in there for 3-4 years, but they didn't make a statement in there. They made their long haul in WCW. Yeah, they're WCW trademarks.
The next three I don't have photos for, but it's at 20. It's Team Hell No, which is Daniel Bryan and Kane. They were really funny together, really good together. They went to divorce.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Yep.
19 is Money Inc. That was Ted DiBiase and Mike Rotunda as IRS. Then 18 was DX, and DX would be Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
They probably should be a little bit even higher. That's what, 18 you say?
Yeah, but again, that's just 2 guys to me that are more singles stars than tag team guys. Then all right,
but
so
they really did. How much merch did they sell? They were like a movement. That was a huge movement.
Smart motherfuckers. I'll tell you that much. At number 17 is Mr. Fuji and Professor Toru Tanaka. These guys were brutal back in the day. That's before my time, I'm glad to say. But I read up about them. I know who Mr. Fuji was, but I remember Mr. Fuji as the Fuji dust in someone's eyes being the manager.
They kept Fuji around. Fuji was around forever.
Yeah, as the tag team, they were great. So then, all right, now down to number 16. Number 16, I don't believe I have a photo of it. That's the Brothers of Destruction. That's Kane and the Undertaker. So Kane and the Undertaker at 16. If I can find this one, we need the photo.
I do remember them pairing up. What was that, to set them up for the singles battle or something? Did they fight each other after
every
that?
now and then they would just come together because they're brothers. Every now and then, if the storyline called for it, they would just come together. It's weird. If they were, together they were. All right, Strike Force, Tito Santana, and who's the guy on the right? The one, Rick Martel.
Yes,
Team Strike Force. They come in at 15, and I'm like, perfect. I agree with that.
I love Strike Force.
Number 14 was the Rock and Sock Connection. That's the Rock, obviously, and Mick Foley.
Mankind.
Yep.
What is it?
Yeah. Mankind and the Rock. Number 13 is the Blackjacks. Remember the guy Cowboys with the black mustaches? They come out with all right, this is before our time, but they try to redo these with what's his name? Who's the guy? Who's the announcer now that was champion? Wears the cowboy hat? JBL.
Yeah.
He came back as a blackjack. They were trying to redo the Blackjacks, and he was one of the guys with the mustache. The new Blackjack stunk, but that old school team Blackjacks, those guys traveled everywhere. They were the bad guy Cowboys. Black hats, black mustaches. It was like they made a ton of money back in the day traveling. Well, not a ton of money, but in comparison with what they really make. APA is next. It's Brad Shaw and Farouk. That's back when they were, drinking beers. You come pay the money to beat people up. The APA. They were what were they called when they were with the Undertaker? Because the APA stood for, they were the Acolytes. Yep. So it ended up becoming the Acolytes Protection Agency, APA. Right. And they were always like playing cards and drinking, smoking cigars.
I remember that. That's
it was Bradshaw and Farouk, the APA. They were a badass team. It really was. Number 11 is the Rockers. We don't have them. That's Shawn Michaels and the Marty Jannetty, who's
never held a tag team championship belts.
What's that?
Never held the titles.
So you got to look up that story I keep telling you about. So they ended up holding the titles for like one night. It was at a house show. They thought that they were going to go ahead with it, and that was going to be the push. And then like Vince changed his mind and then just acted like that night never happened and just kept the belts on whoever was the champion. Yeah, that's what I read about. All right, so now we're down to the top 10, and these all should be legit, right? Tag teams, right? Top 10? No, there should be no question. So number 10 is the Dudley Boys. Yeah. See, to me, the Dudley Boys, if I could find them, they would be higher up on my list because they've been champions everywhere. I mean, every division, right? Every division. Doesn't matter. They're champs. They just, wherever they go.
I'll tell you what, they brought along a revolution. They were TLCs. They were that whole next push of get the tables out. They were absolutely epic with their movement, and they changed the game. They changed the game. They did.
They were, yeah. Unbelievable.
Game changes.
I agree. They really were unbelievable. All right, so I don't have a photo, I think, for the next two, but at number 9 is the Wild Samoans. There was no bigger tag team when I was really young as a kid than the Wild Samoans. Like, I would always hear about them. Like, and you would see them on TV, and they were frightening because of the size of their hair, and they were like just trying to bite. Yeah. And like, you learn things that are not true about Samoans. In my fantasy world, apparently Samoans have really strong heads, and they can headbutt you, and they can't feel any pain, right? That's what Samoans in wrestling do. They can headbutt you. Why? I don't know.
The toughest kid I ever locked arms with, we used to do UFC after dark, and he was Falifutu Samoan, badass motherfucker. I miss him. I got to reach out to him, see what he's doing, how he's doing. Falifutu Samoans, big, strong, intimidating.
Yep, for real too.
Oh yeah.
At number 8 is the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. Now, see, I think they would be I think they might be my number 1. That might be my number 1 tag team ever because wherever they went, this was the tag team champs. And
look at
everybody was scared to death to cross these two guys. Like
look at Animal. He looks like he's just, looks like a parachute. Look like he's just gonna.
Right.
Hawk's a big boy too. Both of them.
Both of them. The other one just died this year too. So now they're both gone, which is awful.
They're forever. They left their mark, like you just said. They left their mark there forever.
The worst thing they did was they tried to come back with Heidenreich as one of the members with Animal, and it just didn't work. All right, what do we got? Samoans, Legion of Doom. Number 7 would be, and I don't have a photo, the Valiant Brothers. All right, the gorgeous Valiant Brothers, Johnny Valiant, and I forget what the second name is, but they were so popular in black and white era. Like, they were the 2 blonde pretty boys that came to the ring, and they wouldn't let you touch them, or they refused to like lock arms with their competitor because the competitor
yeah.
They were like that classic, you know what I mean? That first whatever. So they were like underlooked. So I can actually make an argument for that team because like that's a team that did what they needed to do perfectly back in those days, where like the grandmas and the nanas would be in the front row yelling at the wrestlers with like a stick. You know what I mean? Number 6, the British Bulldogs. They, of course. See, now that's, to me, right there, that's a tag team. The minute that you say that name, I immediately think All right, that's a tag team. That's definitely one of the top tag teams. It's not two guys. As great as the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, was on his own, he was not as good as he was when he was with, what's his face?
David Boy Smith.
David Boy Smith. Don't you think so?
I love them. I love the British Bulldogs. Absolutely. They earn that spot. Yep.
They're definitely in 6. Yeah, I guess 6. I mean, I keep saying that they should be lower, but then I keep coming up with tag teams that are really good. Number 5, right? The Hardy Boys. Yeah. I mean, as much as you don't want to like them, how many times were they champ? I mean, they carried the tag team division for how long? And they're the ones that started getting everybody to do the ladders.
They did. I was gonna say,
came in. The
Dudley Boys came out. They pushed it. They pushed the envelope. They took it a little bit further.
The Dudley Boys brought the tables. It was Hardy Boys bringing ladders, and the Dudley Boys were like, "Hey, we're gonna go through tables too," and that's where it got crazy, right? So they're number 5. Number 4 is let's see if I can find it before I get them out of my mouth, but I can't. Yeah, I don't see. It's the New Age Outlaws. It's the Road Dogg Jesse James and the Badass Billy Gunn. They first of all, their intro, oh, you didn't know? Nah, nah, nah. Your ass better call somebody. That is, to me, Mike Lepre, like pure. That's like a Twinkie. It's just pure bliss for a couple of seconds. Like that was such a great intro, man. I love that friggin' intro. And those were 2 guys that were on their way out with the characters that they were. Like the Road Dogg was supposed to be the roadie for like Jeff Jarrett. And then Badass Billy Gunn actually dyed his hair black and was wrestling under what's his face? Was his manager and like mentor. He was like a hillbilly, Rockabilly. He called himself Rockabilly. It was who's the guy that the Ultimate Warrior squashed for the Intercontinental belt? The guy with the rock and roll guitar.
Honky Tonk?
Honky Tonk Man. Yeah, Billy Gunn at that point dyed his hair black. He was a Honky Tonk Man.
I remember that.
And then they grabbed each other and they became New Age Outlaws. They fought like Mick Foley and the dude that I love, Terry Funk, in a bunch of really crazy matches. Pushed them all guys off the thing in the dumpster. That thing was crazy. All right, so we're down to the top 3 tag teams of all time. Number 3 came in as, can I find them? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I probably won't have them. No. Demolition.
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely.
How good were Demolition? Because they weren't great wrestlers, right? But
just the whole gimmick.
I feel like they stole the Road Warriors.
They did. Well, they took it from the Road Warriors there. They were the WWS version of the Road Warriors.
They made it more packaged. And that song. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes. Here comes the Master with Demolition. Walking disaster.
Dun, 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 Demolition. There's no escape from Axe if Smash doesn't get you. Bam, 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 bam. That's such a great song, dude. I love those songs. Yeah, Demolition. Sorry.
They played a good. They played the role.
What?
They played their roles very well. Axe and Smash.
They weren't the greatest wrestlers, though, right? But they couldn't really move. But they were like scary as crap. Like they put the mask. They played that role.
How about the guy laying him on the knee and they jumping off the ropes? Boom! They did some moves that would be like, okay,
yeah, definitely. No, they definitely were. It's just again, they weren't the greatest. It's weird. No. Some people have personality. Some people more restless. Number 2
absolutely.
Is the Hart Foundation. I can't find them either. Jim the Anvil Neidhart and why am I Hitman Hart. They're a great tag team. That was a great tag team. That really was a great tag team. I can't argue that one. Great but number 1, now see, I wouldn't argue this, but I bet you some people will. I bet you might even have a different opinion on this one if I can find them. If I can find them. I don't think I can find them. All right. So think about it this way. While all those great ladder match type of things were going on, and that's something I think we should rewatch again because those matches, there's a couple in a row that were incredible. You would just have to say the Hardy Boys brought the ladders. the Dudley Boys brought the tables. But the two guys that benefited the most from these matches were Edge and Christian. And they became the number one tag team of all time. They've held the most, I think held the belts for the longest, I guess, combined. Or they've held, they also have up there for the most tag team titles of all time. Like Edge and Christian won more titles and did more as champions than it seems. You know what I mean? In a time when there were such great tag teams. Like at that point, there were some great tag teams. Like the tag team division was not like ignored. They were like the high point of some of the pay-per-views, those matches. And Edge and Christian won, I think, at least two of them. So it's weird how they end up. So what did you think of that list?
You're absolutely spot on when you know me. I mean, I like Edge. I seen the need for Edge at the time when he did he kind of coexist with the downfall of Steve Austin? Did they like need Edge to have more of a peak because maybe there was lesser? Because I know they made a big push for Edge, even in the solo career.
His solo career was gigantic, man. He's held the belt like 12 times. It's John Cena. It goes John Cena. He's tied with Ric Flair the way that the WWE does it, and then next is Randy Orton and what's his face, Edge. Yeah, they actually are up there. So they're like the top four as far as how many times they've held the belt, because they were just like, when you're like a bad guy like that, they need you to hold the belt for like say a month so they can get a new baby face they can sell money, products about. Have them come beat you.
Remember how they came out? What they came out as the Brood.
Yeah, the Brood with the bloodbath.
Oh, I hated that.
If you were a wrestler, right?
I hated it.
If you want to be a good guy or a bad guy as a wrestler,
I think it would be much easier to be bad. What
would you rather?
I think it'd be harder to be liked as a good guy, and I think I'm already a dickhead as a person. I could thrive. I could thrive as a dickhead.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's what I think too about myself. Like, I would like to be a good guy. You know what I mean? I would love to be the good guy. I would love to be the good guy everybody cheers for. I really would. Like I do. I say that all the time. Even my kids, I tell them that all the time because they kind of know how it is. But it's like, I end up, I don't mind being the bad. Look, I don't mind being the bad guy if I'm doing the right things. I know that might not make sense. It does with me. I just know that I would end up being that. Yeah, I don't know how I would play a good guy. I don't know how I could act as a good guy and pull it off. Because you'd have to actually act like you cared about all these different things and that you you stood for all these different things. Where in reality, it's like I care less about you people. I care about this, about that. That was how I would be. I would want to. I think I'd be. I learned. Some of you learned this, especially being in a band and having fans, which a lot of people don't get. And I know it sounds like we're joking, but we had fans enough to make this statement. But you get like just all levels of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they'll listen to whatever you say sometimes as if it's gospel. And you'll sometimes say stuff that isn't like, you're not giving an order. You're not saying for them to do anything, but then they do something. And you're like, what the hell? What was that all about? Oh, I thought you wanted me to, and you're like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that ever happened to you, but that was like something that I realized, like, it's hard being a good guy because like you got to deal with all the other people and their problems. I had a hard time with that.
I have so many stories, and it's funny because I definitely have split personalities, and there's definitely days when I don't know if it was like the military and time management, get a lot of things done, put a lot on your plate. They always stress putting more than you can handle because it only increase your daily, plate size. But I'm always the man who takes on all the orders. I'm at the living room one night. We got a packed house. I'm walking in. I just got like my brand new car, and I parked right on the side of where Randy always sits, collecting his money. I I walk out, there's a guy and his two girls sitting on my car. It's brand new car. I'm looking at them. They're looking at me like, hey, what's up? I'm like, you like the fucking seat? Get off the fucking car. I'm like, you know, it can't be nice all the time. And sometimes it's like, you're sitting on my car, scratching it up. And I'll tell you what, it's tough because you want to be the nice guy all the time.
And I'm deaf. I can't hear shit. So people say something to me, and there's only something you can ask someone, what did you say? Before it's like ridiculous. So I'll ask twice. And then if I can't hear it after that, I just got to go with it. Yeah, I'm just like, Absolutely. All right.
That was the one thing I really hated at shows was talking. I would just be like, I just can't. I can't. I'm not going to have a conversation, loud music. I'm like, I can't.
It is funny, dude, because a lot of people don't really truly understand what we're talking about, but we could actually talk forever on that very subject. Like, I had a hard time in the beginning when it went, the place is getting packed this week. Suddenly there's people in the front that know the lyrics of some of the songs. They're singing back to me. Then it's like, this place is getting packed. Then it's like, we're all over. We start to go churned. It's like 4 or 5 days a week. We just started to go play whatever's in this Northeast area. Yeah. And like, the crowd started to, like, Baby had closed, and then people were like, where do we go now? And they're like, well, the living room's still open. And they're like, well, who plays in the living room? And Randy's like, well, SOC's got a Saturday night every month, right? One Saturday night every month. That was money, right? Yeah. So those shows were like, to me, more like get-togethers. Like, it got to the point where everybody knew everybody was this massive thing. And when I would come off stage, if you came up to me and wanted to talk something about that was stupid or funny, I was with it. But if you want to talk serious, anything serious, like the worst, my least favorite was, can I ask you a question about some of the lyrics? It's like, no. Because you know what? It's the times where they come up, they point out a lyric that in your head you're going, oh, I just wrote that. Like, that's somebody. It's like, sometimes I just wrote it. It's not that deep. Like, I just the way it sounded right there. Like, I don't know how else to tell something. So there was like weird stories
live that I've put down on wax in the studio because of things like that, and like just had to change things that didn't want to be said anymore, or maybe think something I've thought different. I have it was something about Side of the Line. We did a track for Psychopathic, and I said 9/11 happened, but they're quick to forget it. Like, talking about the people, but now I'm like, I don't even care if people forget it anymore, because I don't really believe as 9/11 as the official story, or how I once think it. I say the 9/11 happened, but the government did it. I totally changed what I say. Instead of saying they're quick to forget, I say the government did it. I actually like that better.
Did you, speaking of that, so when 9/11 happened, the Rhode Island music scene got weird, right? Yeah. And I remember that me and Dave got perceived as not being maybe patriotic because we were trying to have fun, and everybody else was like, they just wouldn't let it happen for the first couple of nights. But there was that small guy who had blonde dreads who got an eagle, American eagle, tattooed. Do you remember it? It was his whole neck. He's not a big guy, man. And he walked into Jerky's, and he had that tattoo. And everybody was like dapping him up because it was so patriotic and all this bullshit. And I'm sitting there and I'm just going,
Eric Conley?
I don't know. I'm like, why would you do that, man, on your neck? Like, oh, Jesus. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man, not there. Like, I'm with you. But why would you do that? Like, this is your business card. Why would you put that on there?
Wants to have their, it's almost like somebody getting the Super Bowl tattooed. It's like they want their part. So it
didn't make any sense, man. It just didn't make any sense. I was like, what the heck's going on with this? So we were like, I remember it was just hard for a while with that. It was like, what the hell? I don't get it, dude.
Is it crazy? I mean, we were talking about the tuck rule, and I didn't want to stop the show the other day, but the tuck rule happened in the game that Drew Bledsoe was injured in, right after 9/11. or before. Was it before? After 9/11. That was when Tom Brady came in right at the end, and then he started the
No,
next
the
game.
Tuck rule was in the AFC Championship game. Brady went. Brady
No.
came.
The Tuck rule happened earlier in the year. It was the third game of the year. It was the New England and the Jets. Vinny
Really?
Testaverde, it actually had impacted the game, and the Patriots would have won that game. Testaverde fumbled. They called it an incomplete pass. They ruled it the Tuck rule. It happened earlier in the year.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that. So we had to bring that up on Thursday, see if anybody else knows that. Because if you bring up the Tuck rule, I guarantee you they're going to, my brother Ray and Genius Kev will both say against the Raiders.
I've heard what I said before, ever saw it. Then I was watching, I don't know why I was watching the game, but I seen the whole game. I was watching Bledsoe rip passes.
Is that a Mandela effect?
What is it?
You think that might be a Mandela effect?
I knew where, and you know what? It sucks being a Pads fan and knowing how shitty that Tuck rule call was, because I like to play getting the play called right. And I'll tell you what, that Raiders team was a great team, and I never want to see a team get shunned like that, especially because the Golden Boy's coming along, or it's a feel good story, whatever. And that's exactly what happened. They were the feel good story. But once they went to review and they said, "Oh, we're gonna challenge this play. We're gonna see," I was like, I remember looking at my brother and I go, "They're gonna turn this fucking call over." And when they did, I was excited because, of course, I'm a fan. We went out to win. It's the biggest, shittiest thing that you got to be reminded all the time, because it was bullshit. It didn't need to happen. And we see it all the time in the NFL.
You know what's weird is this is a wrestling show, and you're bringing up this football issue, and all it's making me think of is this jerk off. This is the guy that made it so that the Giants couldn't make it to the playoffs. Like, this is the guy that threw a game on national TV, and then his dumb ass got fired, right?
You know where he got it wrong?
Why did he do that? Why?
I would have never.
No one's told me.
I would have never gave Carson Wentz that money after Nick Foles took you to the promised land. You have no idea how Carson Wentz would have reacted being on the main stage. Nick Foles let it all hang out, and he matched it. It was an exciting Super Bowl. And how you go to Carson Wentz from Nick Foles is beyond me. I thought they lost the team right then.
Here's my thing, right? Peterson threw a game on national TV. Now, why would he throw the game? Well, maybe because he wanted a better draft pick. But now he's not going to be with the team. So why did he throw the game? Did he do it for the management? Did he owe them something? Did he bet the game? Why did he throw the game? Why did he have players on his team being restrained from going after him when he took out what's his face, the other quarterback, and put in dumb hands over here? Did
they really? The players went.
Oh yeah, Kelsey was.
I didn't know that.
Reading the articles. They were like really angry that they were like, what is this? What's going on here? Like, they thought they were clicking. Like, they had a chance at this game. Then all of a sudden they put in this kid. The veteran's like, what? Dude,
shit.
How did he go back to that locker room? That's pro wrestling. Going back into that locker room after you throw that game like that. If I'm an old lineman,
Kelsey is a WWE wrestler. If he wasn't in football, he'd be slamming people.
Remember Kevin Green?
Yeah.
He was huge in WCW for a long time.
Yeah,
he wrestled
awesome.
The blonde hair and whatnot. Hey, you know what's funny? We're at 54 minutes. Again, we can do an hour on any sport you bring us. Bring me a sport and I'll do an hour on it. For real. And we just went through like 50 of the top tag teams and they're legit. Bring me a sport, man. Hey, so I thought check out the Doodly commercial that we've got going. It cracks me up. I just like I like how it says like winner, 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 winner. Like, I like the little things that I added. Tell everybody you know about legitfantasysports.com. That's like the hub to check out our YouTube shows. If you watched us on YouTube, please hit the like button. Can we get everybody to please just do that one thing? Hit the like button. Maybe leave a comment. Even just say, hey, what's up, guys? That's it. We need that because it works with the biometrics or whatever it's called that YouTube uses. And they go by like, you're more likely to see us in someone's feed, the more likes and the more comments that we get. So we're asking you to help us out with that to get this ball rolling. You know what I mean? Because Matt, we're real close.
We are real close. But before we go, we were just talking about how we can do all sports. One of the greatest sports right now, it's bubbling in the 135-pound weight class over there is Devin Haney, Tank Adams, Ryan Garcia, and my favorite, Teofimo Lopez. I'm telling you right now, Tank Adams is about to fight Ryan Garcia. You got Devin Haney, who's so sweet. He's like Sugar Ray. And then you got my boy Teofimo. And I'm telling you, these are like the days of Sugar Ray, Roberto Duran, that's the days of when we grew up, when boxing was great. These boys are making it happen again. Keep an eye on that 135.
And the heavyweights are coming back. So what that tells me is this. Everybody looked at mixed martial arts and said, I want to try that, right? But then I think
failed and just said, I'll box.
What's that? The backswing. Yeah, the backswing is that people want to learn just boxing because it's its own science. It's its own type of thing. Once they realize that and they get lost in the science of it, that's why you're catching so many just boxers now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's great when they just straight up boxers. Like there's so much to it. People just think it's swinging. It's not. That's a tough man contest.
Why the fuck figure that out?
What's that?
Wilder got into a bunch of street fights and then he got into a boxing match and he figured that out. He was a great heavyweight, but he learned how to box over the last 3-4 years, but not quick enough not to fight some of the guys he's fighting now. And he got his ego ripped off his chest. He got the ass ripped off his chest. I loved seeing Wilder get knocked out. He'll never get back in the ring with Tyson Fury.
Wilder. I don't like the guy. I don't like the constant complaints or excuses. Like he just needed to just shut up right away. Just come back. You know what I mean? The thing is, when you got a right hand like that, why would you just say a word? I would just wait till I came back, because when you have that, he calls it the eraser. When you have a right hand like that, I mean, sure, you hit Tyson and he dropped, but he got right back up in that scary way that he did.
Undertaker.
Yeah, right. That must have messed with his head. But the thing is, he's got to stay. He's got to still have faith in the fact that his right hand can get the job done if he hits somebody correctly.
Did you hear Tyson Fury? Tyson Fury, when he got up, when Wilder knocked him down, he learned how to defeat Wilder. When he got up, he said he figured out Wilder did not know how to fight going backwards. He did not like fighting backwards. Wilder's an intimidator, likes coming at people, but he did not know how to fight going backwards, and he couldn't do it.
He leaned on him and just stayed right on him, in front of him, pushed him in the middle, and Wilder had no stance to get on. He was trying to bully him, is what he was doing.
Yep. 6'9". I can't wait to see AJ and Fury lock it up. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it is gonna be. Hey, so we made it. We're good. Beware of the LWL, the legit world order. Yeah, so check it out. Check out the website. We got a lot of big things coming up. This is going to be a long but fun year, 2021. We do have a lot of shows. Crazy. You got anything to say before we go, Matt? No.
Excited for these, NFC, AFC championship matchups. That's going to be good stuff.
Yeah. I can't wait to pick those, man. I've been looking forward to picking those, the championship games. Can't wait to play those. It's going to be great.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a great Super Bowl no matter how we slice it.
It is true. Matt, I will talk to you again on Thursday night. It is me, Mike Lepre, for Legit Fantasy Wrestling from LegitFantasySports.com. Thank you and enjoy your night.